that, right? So after many decades of failure and betrayal, we will cast from the power of diehard, well, that's what happens. These diehard globalists like Joe Biden, who's crooked. Look, you know, when I got indicted the first time, I said, oh, now that gloves are off, this is never supposed to happen to an ex-president who did a great job. I did a great job. I mean, we had the best economy. We had the best border. We had the best everything. Then I got indicted so fast, one after another, election interference, all crap. And I said, well, the gloves are off. And I never talked about him this bad. I mean, I respected the office more so than him, not really him. But when I got indicted 4 times, and I have civil trials, a DA in New York, a totally corrupt Attorney General, Letitia Peekaboo James, totally corrupt Attorney General in New York. She said Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. The judge said Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. I had about 10 people call. I'll take 10 of them. Could I have 10 of them? And it's worth, you know, perhaps billions of dollars. But they said that. This is what the trial. It's so sad. But the gloves were taken off. And now I tell the fact. He's a corrupt politician. He's grossly incompetent. And he's the worst president in the history of our country. And he's destroying our country. I wouldn't have spoken like that out of respect for the office. But we're going to protect foreign labor. If you look at it, Ron DeSanctimonious comes along, right? How about him? I got him elected. Then he says 4 years later, yes, I would run against him, essentially. He said, I have no comment. So that's about the same thing, wouldn't you say, right? When they say I have no comment, that's the same thing. By the way, we have a very special congressman. Would you and your wife please stand up? Great people. Great people. I see you sitting there. They didn't put you on the screen, Lance. But I appreciate you being here. It's really an honor. From Texas. And they're incredible, very, very great people, both of them. And they didn't put him on this. This teleprompter's not doing so good today. They didn't put him down. I would never, ever get his vote on anything. He'd vote to impeach me if I didn't mention him. I'd be in trouble. Like some of the other crazies. You know, we had Nancy Pelosi vote to him. Crazy Nancy. No, she came out and she said, well, impeach him. And then she found out I did nothing wrong and they had already started the process. So she said, well, let's just go through with it anyway. It turned out that phone call that I got impeached, I'm the only guy who could get impeached on a perfect phone call. I got impeached. And it was a perfect call to the president of Ukraine. And it turned out now, 2 years later, that was 100% right because they were crooked people. But it turned out, meaning Biden, the son, the whole thing, they were crooked people, so it turned out to be 100% right. But one thing I did, because of that gentleman right there and some others like him, we had 197 Republicans at the time, I believe, and I got 197 votes in favor of no impeachment from the Republicans. So that's great. Thank you very much, Lance. Thank you. I'm glad I saw you sitting there. I would have been in trouble. But thank you. We have some other great people in the audience, too, and we appreciate you here. Under the Trump administration, we will once again protect American jobs, American workers, American wages, American borders, and we're going to protect, most importantly, American families, because American families are being hit very hard. They've never had anything like this. The inflation, you know, inflation is called a country buster. It busts countries. You look at Germany from many years ago. You look at anywhere inflation comes. It doesn't have to be now. It could be 200 years ago. Where they had inflation, they had broken countries. And we're very close to a broken country. We're also very close to a country that's going to be in a third world war because we have an incompetent president. He has no clue. And this isn't a war with army tanks going back and forth. This is a war with weapons, the likes of which nobody can even imagine how bad they are. This is obliteration, and Obama has plenty to do with it. Obama has plenty to do with it. I call him Biden's boss, but he has plenty to do with it. Very, very, very serious. We are in very, very grave danger of having a World War III, and this will be a war. This will be a war of obliteration. This will not be a war with, I say, army tanks going back and forth shooting at each other. This is the real deal. And we have a man that He can't even walk off a stage. He walks off a stage. He finishes his speech. He looks, oh, well, he can't find. He has no idea. You know, there's always a stair there, a stair here. You could even walk off the front, jump or something, do something. He usually walks to the back into a wall. Yeah, there's a wall there. He walks right into a wall. Can't walk off the stage, can't put two sentences together, and yet he's negotiating with President Xi of China, who, when I say he's very smart, the press, look at, that's a lot of press back there. That's a lot. So for him to negotiate with President Xi of China is like my high school football team playing the, let's see, what's a good team nowadays? Philadelphia's good. So, you know, they change a little bit. I used to say New England. I used to say the Patriots. I'd love to be able to say the Patriots. He's a great guy, great coach, but they have a little hard time. But what's going on with the Patriots, huh? But he's a great coach. And he'll figure it out somehow. He's going to figure it out. But that was not a good game last night, was it, huh? But it's like playing a professional team. It's ridiculous for him to be negotiating with these people. These people, I got to know them all. They're at the top of their game. They're at the top of their game. And we have somebody that 30 years ago wasn't at the top of any game. He wasn't 30 years ago. Never was. He was at lad hand. That's all he was, is at lad hand. And Ted Kennedy told me that, a friend of mine. Can you believe he was a friend of mine? But he was, for certain reasons. As president, I stood up to China like no administration has ever done before, bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars, pouring into our treasury, and took it right out of China. I even got the farmers of and you, plenty of people in here, but I got the